Welcome to the A to Z Golfing Podcast presented by AM Golf Trips. Follow the entire 2023 season at amgolftrips.com and swagseries.com with Andy Cezanne, our guest today, head of operations over at Swag Golf, Andrew Schmitt. Andrew, how are you?
I am doing well. Thanks for having me.
You know, doing our first live episode with you it's fantastic. We totally set you up for this. We queued you
hmm
in. Everything is great. So
Perfect.
it's good. It's good to see you. We've all survived Las Vegas. It was an epic trip. I know I sent everybody some notes, but I'm already going to go completely away from them. We're going to go right into the recap of Las Vegas because I have to start there. I was going to slowly move into it, but I just want the full assessment. First and foremost, your thoughts on Shadow Creek.
Oh man. Well, I was gonna slow roll it towards Vegas to build some anticipation, but I guess we're just gonna jump right in. Shadow Creek it was phenomenal. It was absolutely phenomenal. The staff was great. The course was just epic. I don't know, it's truly a special place, and I am so happy we were able to well, one, I'm happy I got to play there, but two, extremely happy that we were able to host an event there.
Andy also first time seeing it and being present, and I think for somebody that did not get to play a round of golf, and I've loved playing golf out there, to talk to every single person that was coming on to 18 and introducing them onto the greens and then talking to them a little bit about wherever they were in their round about it. I don't even think that there were words that they could come up with. People weren't even completing sentences in regards to like how to describe the golf course. And I think for me, that was kind of like the cool part. It's like, how's your day going? It's just, this place it's fantastic. So Andy, from your perspective, I know you got to spend a lot of time out on 17. Do you
Mhm.
share in that with Andrew?
Yeah, so I was out on 17 and I got different stories from all the different caddies throughout the day. So obviously that was the hole that I guess Steve Wynn has his Dolphins on. So they have the little three graves right in front of that. So every caddy was telling them that. And then one caddy also told us that Michael Jackson used to come out and sit by the little, I guess,
The
waterfall in
waterfall.
the background there
Yeah.
with Bubbles, the monkey, and just watch the golfers and say, "Hey guys, how you doing?" And as they all came through, so that was the stories I have on 17. But the players that came up, they all had a great time looking at the telephone booth right there, taking pictures with that. Paige rolled up that way. Claire was out that way for a little bit, so they were all enjoying that whole vibe that was going on, and they knew. They started on different holes, so I had people from the beginning of the round to the end of the round. The people that started in the beginning, they were still trying to get their wits about them, looking around and figuring it all out. But by the end, everyone was pretty loose anyway, so it was a good time being out there with them.
I didn't mean to like stir it up and get started with Vegas, so we'll come back to it later. But
Well,
I just kind of wanted to throw it out there. It was the first thing on my mind. Um, but no, I do want to talk a little bit from the start. We've gotten to spend a lot of time with you. Trips. I've gotten to know you before you even started coming on golf trips. I've heard a little bit about how the start of this fantastic company started. I know that there's a lot of childhood friendships that are also involved with people that work there and stuff like that. So just let everybody know, like, where did this all start? Where did the evolution or the idea of swag off really start?
yeah, the initial idea, the initial concept, that is Nick's brainchild. I don't know how long it's been floating around, rattling around up there, but you know, 5.5 years ago, we were chatting on the phone, which, backstory, Nick and I have known each other for 34 years. We've been friends, family friends, played Little League together, all that. So, uh, we were just chatting on the phone and he was talking about a idea he had. I was living in Michigan at the time and looking for a change. And, it seemed pretty exciting. A far cry from, the specialty pharmacy work I was doing at the time. But, I have a pretty storied golf employment history, being a starter for Par King Golf Course, skill golf in Lincolnshire, Illinois, for one summer in high school. So, I know my way around a course, obviously. And no, it sounded like an awesome concept and it sounded fun. And he was so enthusiastic about it. And, I kind of said, what the heck? Let's, if you need somebody to help you do this, I'll jump on board. And I spent the next 12 months pretty much commuting and couch surfing in Chicago for, and going up to the burbs. And there were four of us at the time, Nick, Tommy, Trent, and myself. And we all sat in one little room in the office around a conference table and just started putting things together.
You know, 5.5 years ago, like you detailed, when, or maybe it even hasn't. It's so big. Like, I mean, from somebody that kind of came around in the middle of 2018 and then started to see like the evolution of it. I mean, from those first meetings to obviously you guys have so many more employees now, but was there a point when you were just kind of like, holy blank, um, this is something like this is growing towards the idea that we had or surpass the idea that you had. I would be so interested just to hear about how the evolution of those meetings really took place for you guys.
I mean, the first time it was kind of a wow, this is going better than I ever imagined. I mean, honestly, I have that feeling every single day, but it might have been launch night, April 1. You know, we didn't have a ton of stuff. We were still kind of bootstrapping everything together, and we launched, and it went extraordinarily well. And especially for myself, not, I never really lived in this high-end collectible golf space before. So I'd heard a lot about it through Nick and through some other folks I know, but it was still a shock of just, oh, this is a true proof of concept here.
So we all know that you got your start on April 1st. What was before that at the PGA show? What were you guys doing there with that, with everything?
So the PGA show kind of just fell into our laps. We had no intention of going outside of maybe as attendees. And we ended up getting a space last minute. And I mean, you want to talk about pulling something together last second? That's pretty much what we did. We got a pedestal that had a light on it. We were down outside of Orlando in who knows where neighborhood, tracking down a welder to weld this thing for us last minute the morning before the show starts. We had, I think at that point, three, maybe four head covers done, and that was it. We had, these were all prototypes, you know, just and we had half a putter.
Oh, no
Uh,
way.
not even a fully done putter that we put on this pedestal, used a cover to hide the half that was not completely finished to the level we'd want it to be, on this pedestal. And that was basically our booth, was just an empty square with a pedestal in the middle, a wall behind us that said swag, and uh, and that's it. And a
And look
and a
at where
hope
you're
and a
at
prayer.
today.
So
That's
that was
awesome.
that was an experience, and I honestly think it worked out great for us. We got a lot of positive feedback. I think the minimalist approach created a little bit of buzz because, who the heck are these guys that are literally just displaying half a putter in their booth? Um, and it's just snowballed from there.
So with that, and you're talking about the snowball effect and how everything has grown from there, and the uh, being minimal or minimalist when you were at that show. What for you has turned into your favorite parts about the brand? Like specifically.
I think something that we've kind of strived for since day one is we want it to be fun. Um, and that's always been the most enjoyable part for me is, just kind of the weird, like golden tickets, redemption cards, F5s, hiding items on the site, just kind of doing some different. unique, creative things to just make the purchase experience a little more exciting and to bring, some things to the table that at least originally nobody else was kind of doing in our space. And that still kind of remains my favorite part is we tried to make a brand of things that we thought was cool or were cool and do some kind of fun. We grew up watching Willy Wonka. The concept of a golden ticket,
Yeah.
you know, that's always stuck with us. And, redemption cards, we collect sports cards and stuff too. And it's always super fun when you pull one of those. So trying to incorporate these things we've seen elsewhere and how can we bring those into our brand and have some fun with it and make it more enjoyable for everyone.
So is there, with all that being said, I mean, like if you really start to put like pen to paper, there's so much that you guys do now. I mean, I'm sure everybody out there, we could probably talk about it a little bit more with the EP and how that became an evolution, and then having the accessibility to, as an outsider, really start to ramp up product, right? And then having to keep up with that. So are there things in the future that you guys are already, kind of leading us into, or are we just going to kind of have to wait and see where this juggernaut goes and where these ideas go?
uh yes.
Well, I
uh,
I mean, we saw one
I'm
of them today. I'm.
Which was the release today.
Well, I mean, both of them. I think like the evolution of the money cover. I mean, when I first met you, I learned pretty quickly like the Jefferson was sort of your thing, or at least that's what I thought was your thing, right? Which is totally cool. I mean, how many people out there even still look at like a $2 bill, and then you got people out there that like all of a sudden they want a Jefferson head cover, and then now they want $2 bills to go along with it, right? And then then the hats, and I would always see you with hats. Today we saw the die pack covers, and then on top of it we get to see the new shape of the putter that's coming out. So I know that you get us all like on our toes. I'm just wondering, like, is there ever a point where it does come back a little bit, where maybe it is minimized a little bit to where, and I'm just saying it, like it's a little bit old school. Like, is there a time when you throw it back to like some of the things that we were talking about in the beginning?
I mean, look, we've built a brand that a lot of it is based on nostalgia for us.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do think there is a time for that, but we're still a very young company. We still have a lot of ideas that we have not exhausted yet. And, you know, I'm not going to say in the future we're not going to go down that road, but there is a plan. And no, I'm not going to tell you what it is.
It's just us here talking. Don't worry, there's no one else listening.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
no,
yeah.
nobody else. The 13 other people that are going to listen to this either work with you or Rob and Matt. So it's perfectly fine.
Yeah,
Um,
well,
okay, so with that being said, let's transition a little bit into playing golf. Right,
Yeah.
I've gotten to play a little bit of golf with you. We got to spend a day out at Elgin last year together. We've played an event this year together. You were obviously a starter at one of the most marquee municipal professional putting courses in all of the
mhm.
Chicagoland area. Where was it just being involved with the brand that really started to bring it out of you? And then obviously I've been around you enough to know that you're hooked. Like you're legitimately hooked on playing golf. So tell us a little bit about that. Where did that sort of start to come into line for you?
Uh, I probably started playing golf when I was, I don't know, 9 or 10, somewhere in that range. And uh, I've always liked it. I've always enjoyed it. But to be honest, I probably didn't really fall in love with the game until high school, college age, when it kind of flipped to playing mostly with friends. And and that's what golf has always been to me is a social game that like I enjoy the hang. I enjoy going out with people that I like spending time with and having, 4 to 5 hours outdoors. I try to look at my phone as few times as possible and just kind of disconnect and enjoy it, because there's not many opportunities in my life anymore that I can do that. And so golf is sort of my sanctuary. And I know it's a lot of different things to a lot of people. Some people it's a very solitary sport, but for me, I don't have much of an interest of going out and playing 18 holes by myself. That doesn't do it for me.
Yeah.
I'm also not a very good golfer. So I just
Hey,
like going out with
I don't mean to jump in, but I'm gonna disagree. You and our partner here have won the gross tournament at PGA
that.
National. So
That that is true, and my partner that weekend can attest to. I spent pretty much the entire round talking about how well we were doing in the net division, uh, because the concept of a gross division was completely and utterly foreign to me. Uh, so, but no, but that's it for me. I like the time to hang out with people I enjoy spending time with and just have some fun.
You're one of the best people, and for anybody out there that hasn't been to an event that has gotten to see Andrew on a microphone or hasn't, or if you haven't had a conversation with him in person, I highly suggest coming to an event and just spending 5 minutes with him. Because when I first met you and then getting to play golf with you, you could totally tell that it's your sanctuary. Like
yeah,
you're just out there, you just want to relax, you want to have a good time. You are way too critical of yourself that you're not a good player. I think you're a fantastic player.
Oh, thank you.
Um, so with that being said, I think the more that you get to play and the more that you get to enjoy it, and having the attitude that you have is only going to make you better in golf. I mean, I've preached this numerous times to Andy and other people that we've had on. The mindset of how you play is, we see it in different people. I mean, I love George Tudor to death, but putter throws on the first green, are really not the way to go to set your day up for the next 17 holes. Um, so what do you enjoy the most? I mean, you kind of like, what about the actual game of golf? Is it your driver? What specifically do you enjoy the most about your golf game?
Um, it's that one good shot,
yeah,
great shot. Um, my game is not that consistent, but I can have 20 bad shots in a row, and then you just have that one perfect shot, and it just brings you completely back
yeah,
and reminds you of why you love this game. So, I mean, it's not a specific club, because it really could be any club in the bag that happens with, but it's just that moment you swing the club, it just feels right, and it goes exactly where you want it to go, and it's a beautiful thing.
I mean, I love it. I mean, listen, between me and you, I think your favorite thing should be the driver, because you hit a driver better than 90% of the people that I've seen. Um, and you're so consistent with it. And I think that sort of is your mindset. I mean, when we played together, what was the thing? Maybe my tempo is too good. I think we went through like 4 holes where you're like, I think my tempo is like perfect. And then we you were struggling a little bit, but then you're always hitting the driver so well. So it's fun to
Yeah,
see, man. I mean,
tempo, tempo, tempo.
oh, 100%. Do you have a joke for us, or should we not go there?
I,
We
I
should
don't
probably
have a,
we should probably
I
we
do
should
not
probably
have.
not go there.
Yeah, no, we'll skip that one for today. That's
Gotcha.
on A to Z After Dark. Um,
Oh,
coming soon to Showtime.
we're gonna have to get that past Mr. Robert McGuire. I don't know if he
Yeah,
will if he'll allow us to go after dark. So, but speaking of after
that's the
dark,
Z to
let's
A
get back to
podcast.
Las Vegas. Let's get
back
back
to
to Las
Vegas.
Vegas. Uh, so Andy, run us through the recap of the weekend that we just had.
Sure. So on Saturday night, we started with the Top Golf Party. Um, then there were extracurriculars for that for some people that wanted to go out, which was fun. And then,
Hmm.
and then that Super Bowl Sunday, we had fun 18 holes at Paiute with the skins game and closest to the pins and a long putt contest. Then we had a big old Super Bowl party that everyone had a great time for it. A bunch of giveaways, squares, everything. I mean, food was fantastic. Drinks were flowing. It was a great time. And then Monday, we concluded taking buses to Shadow Creek and having a day out there. And then we also did our first ever chipping contest, night chipping contest. And that was a lot of fun watching. I'll throw up some video or something of us hitting some glow in the dark golf balls in the 18 at Shadow Creek. Never been done before. First people to do it.
Well, except for Tiger and Phil, but
Well, I mean,
they're really not that popular anymore.
no one knows
So
them.
I don't
Not
know if
from
you
where
were
we were
watching.
staying.
Who?
Yeah. So for the weekend, Andrew, I know that. Listen, you guys did an amazing job. We had I think it was over 90 people out there both days. A little reflection from from your side, the swag golf side, to all the people that joined us out at Vegas.
Yeah, I mean, first I want to say the whole event was phenomenal and incredibly well run. So I have to thank all you folks at AGT for making the trip just as great as it was. And everybody that came, we really appreciate you all showing up. It was an amazing weekend from start to finish. Top Golf was a great way to kick it off. We had Claire doing trick shots. We had Drew Cooper hitting bombs out over the back fence at Top Golf. Um, it was just a blast and a nice casual way to kick things off. And then we head out to Paiute the next day. The wind was blowing as it always does there, but overall, I think it was a wonderful day, followed by a really good Super Bowl, which only made the party more exciting.
Mhm.
Uh, and then, I mean, I've already said what I can say about Shadow. That place is just unbelievable. But really, it's just, it was so fun getting to hang out with everyone that came. Everyone was so great, and we're so happy that we had the group of people there that we did.
Yeah.
I've said it a couple different times when we've talked about the previous Vegas trips. I think the shuttles might be the single greatest tool for an event that big because you have so many people from so many different areas, and they might know one or two people, and especially in the community that's been built out, whether it's Facebook, whether it's Instagram, whether it's Discord, you then get all these people face to face and are able to spend like real time together. It's not like we can send out, a 20 foursome and they can all play together. Everyone's playing in foursomes. Everyone's having a good time. You're mixing in ambassadors. You're mixing in employees from both sides, from Swag Off, from our side. We're driving around a cart, creating swag tours. I mean, you're trying to do so many things in such a small amount of time, and the feedback has been sometimes it's almost hard to reply to people because they're so kind in their words. Um, and it was a big ask. I think it was a big ask for a lot of people, but you guys knocked it out of the park. And that's what I told everybody leading into it is listen, A, they've never let you down. B, they're not going to let you down. And C, you're going to get all of it and then some. And it was just an honor to be there to see everybody do it, right? And be caught up in all of it. To me, it was fantastic. It's the best Vegas trip that I've been on so far.
The amount of feedback I got from the people that came, I mean, there was bucket list, to the umpteenth level right there. I mean, if you, I have not heard one single complaint about it. And if you wanted to complain, that you're not happy in life. I mean, everyone just knocked that whole thing out of the park. I mean, it was absolutely fantastic. And that's what I was telling people before it started. I said, if you can get yourself there, because it's going to be nothing like any of us have ever thrown before. So that was fantastic. And all your team was fantastic getting it all ready for us too.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate hearing that, and I hope all the guests feel the same because we do understand it was a big ask, and I hope we lived up to the expectations for it.
Well, I mean, I can 100% say that everybody that I've talked to, um, I mean, like I said, I think they have a hard time expressing truly what it meant. I mean, you had the Steins out there, who that whole story is absolutely fantastic, and them all getting to play at Shadow. you get a lot of people. Kenny McGinley did a great job with all of his friends and his guests, and I still don't know why they brought their wives, or now they're calling themselves the Wags of Swag. I don't know if you've heard this, but they have their own Instagram. It's just ridiculous.
I love
But
it.
even, yeah, I mean, it's fantastic. They have one follower, and it's me right now. So that's, I think it's perfect.
Yeah, not
It's
creepy at all
trending.
either.
No. Nothing that happened in Las Vegas was creepy at all. Um, so, we kind of bringing them together, when you guys first started, and obviously you guys with Hazeltine was the first one, then Big Cedar, then you've got Vegas. How is it just as do you get excited just as much about like what you're going to do for the next event as like we do? I mean, we have swag series coming up. We do the trips. We get together with you guys and we do a couple events. When does it go on your mind as to like how you want the next one to go?
I think we always strive to improve. And so it's really just a matter of, as phenomenal as Vegas was, we still reflect on it, try to see things that we feel like we could do better on or things we would change for next time and try to incorporate that into future events. Um, you know, the hard part is, we went Hazeltine, we went Big Cedar, we went Vegas. Um, we're we're running out of runway for stepping this thing up further and further. If we keep going at this pace, we're gonna have to find somebody that'll let us play Augusta within the next 2 years here. Otherwise, I think it might be a letdown.
Well, what about that semi-professional putting course that you were started at? What if we just did a little trip up there to Lincolnshire?
I mean, we have this summer will be the third annual Swag Staff Parking Championship. So, uh, you know, maybe we just start a series of events at of various courses. I'm just spitballing. We could call it the Swag Series. Um, I don't know. I think it maybe has legs. We'll see what happens.
Just
Spitballing.
just keep going, Andrew. Just keep going. It's your show right now.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Yeah. In my head, I'm picturing like 13 events.
Oh.
Well, 12. Yeah, 12 in a national championship, maybe
Okay.
somewhere in that range.
Mhm.
All over the country,
I
targeted
like it.
towards where our customers are located. And I don't know. I think it could be cool, but we'll see.
We'll work on it.
Well, I mean, I don't really know where to go here now, but let me just ask this question:
Oh,
if this was to come to fruition, would we be seeing you at any of these what would be called swag series events?
yeah, absolutely. Um,
I'm in.
no, I
Sign me
mean,
up.
obviously, we launched the Swag Series last week, and the feedback so far has been really, really good. We're very excited about this over the course of the next year. We will. I'm attending quite a few of the events. We've got kind of a ragtag team that'll be going around and going to these and hanging out and meeting, and it should be a really fun time.
But Frankie is still going to all of them, correct? Or at least in his mind, Frankie's going to every single event.
In his mind, I think he's already won every single event. We don't even need the national championship. It's just going to
It's
be
already
Frankie by himself.
Gotcha.
foregone conclusion.
Yeah.
It's done.
No,
I
we've got
just
we've got a group of folks. It's gonna be great. We're gonna have a handful of people at every single event to see everybody.
Yeah, we were talking a little bit about with Adam, and I just think it's another. It just gives more insight as to wanting to impact community, right? And wanting to not only, hey, we know that there's these trips out there. We know that there's been a collectors event at Big Cedar. We know that there's been Hazeltine in the Vegas weekend. It's just another way to get groups of people in common areas, and that's really what we're seeing. I mean, you're seeing this outreach into California with majority of people from California coming to this event. And in all these different areas. The Western Pennsylvania area, very much people from that area, Ohio. Yeah, and then but you also still have those diehard people that we love that travel for these events, and I just think it's so good because it just brings community together. And the more and more that we do it, is it leads to the experiences like the ones that people have already had at events. And to us, and I'm sure the same with you, Andrew, that's what means the most. You want people leaving, talking, and building those bonds and those friendships for the future.
Oh, for sure. I mean, the swag series was built for the community. That is that is our goal. We want to be able to see these people face to face, and it's just a blast hanging out for the day, playing golf with the community and people that are as passionate about our company as we are. And these are the people that make our brand. We wouldn't have a company without our collectors, and that's we are incredibly grateful for it. And so this is a way that we can at least, we'll try to make it to all corners of the US as this thing progresses, but at least a start to be able to go and see these people face to face and thank them and have a good time.
That's what it's all about. Hey, man, I hope that you listened to more than 4 minutes of this episode, unlike the one last week. Sorry that I had to bring that up, but I just had to. And thanks for sharing
I
some
mean,
of your night
I
with
lived
us.
it.
Yeah.
I don't need to listen to it.
So, but yeah, we appreciate you jumping on with us. Thank you so much. And I'm sure we will see you here very soon.
Sounds great, boys. I appreciate you letting me come on here.
No problem. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Have a great night. I'll tell you what, Andy, Andrew Schmitt, he's one of like the best humans I think I've ever met in my entire life. I mean, I don't talk about people that highly. Um, I'm kind of a jerk. You're always the very nice one, but
Well, he's the
it's
shadow to
like
your
I look.
creek, right?
He is the shadow to my creek, and I felt terrible on Monday when he wore the creek hat and I didn't have the shadow hat, and
Yeah.
then tonight I have the shadow hat and he felt bad that he didn't have the creek hat. But we're very fortunate to be able to have those relationships with them, and
Yeah.
you know, I probably spent the most time with him in Las Vegas. So it's like every time I see him, it's like I learned something new, and he's fantastic to hang out with. So again, Andrew, when you listen to this, which he won't make it through the first 4 minutes, thank you for coming on. We greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, it's fun. I said the same thing with Adam. Like I love learning these little backstories of people that they talk about with us. Just learning about the PGA show with them, and his little background and getting into golf and his putter his mini golf place.
The
That's what.
Lincolnshire
Yeah,
semi-professional putt-putt
yeah,
municipal course. I
yeah. We
believe
got
that's
we got
what
to
it
make our
was.
way
So
there this summer and see how that place is. I was holding up without him.
I mean, listen, we could just go there once we see them on Instagram. We'll just show up,
Yeah,
right?
that's a good
We'll just
idea.
show up. We'll have a heads up match. We'll just be recording. Be like, oh, hey, we didn't know that you were going to be
Oh, you
here.
guys are here too.
Oh, that's awesome. I mean, it's so hard. I feel like Adam and him, and then other guests too. Like we could sit here and talk for hours and hours about stuff, right? It's so hard to sort of get everybody to realize who Andrew is, who Adam is, who some of these other people are. And I mean, I think um, that's the great part about when we were talking about Vegas, to see how the staff over at Swag interacts with people, how they devote as much time as they possibly can. How Drew Cooper was able to talk to a lot of people. You had Scott Tritle there. You get Frankie Ellingson there. Takashi's there. I mean, I could go on and on and on, listing people, but it's really, there are those special moments,
Yeah.
for us doing the tournaments and or setting up everything. It's really cool that they don't have to worry about that and they could just focus in on everybody else.
Yeah, and that's fun. And you mentioned Drew Cooper. I think was he hitting irons out of Top Golf like over the net as well?
I don't know if he got the 2 iron to clear. I know he hit a couple drivers, and then I think everyone sort of said,
We might want to put that. There's people walking on the strip. We might want to put that one
"Yeah,
away.
yeah, we're not trying to knock out lights on
Yeah,
the neighboring hotel." But
he hits that thing so far. It's
oh,
insane.
I Big Mike was coming off of 18, and he walked over. He goes, Cooper's playing the tips, and his ball landed like 5 yards behind me, and it just stopped. Then Drew comes down. He eagles 18,
Right.
and then he comes over and he's talking to Tritle, and he's like, "Oh, I hit it like 364," and I was like, "It didn't roll out." And he's like, "What do you mean?" And I was like, Big Mike said it literally hit, and it took one bounce forward, and that was it." And he was like, "Oh, so 364 carry." I was like, "Yeah." I was like, that's for me. That's
That's three
driver
clubs for me.
pitching wedge. It's driver pitching wedge. So really cool to see. Um, I was trying to egg Andrew on a little bit. I kind of wanted to know what what he's got in store for everybody. But I mean,
Yeah, you try slipping that little back end in on him, see what he might drop on
I
you.
I did. I watched the President's Day drop that they just had. I mean, just some of the stuff that they think of.
Yeah,
I wouldn't even. I remember the day when I used to like think I was cool, and I think I probably sent him text messages like, "Oh, you should do this, you should
yeah.
do that," and he was very nice about it. He was like, "Okay, we'll think about it." And like now,
It's
I
in the
feel like a
plans.
total schmuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 100% in the plans. But
Now the
President's
foresight
Day
they
release was
have,
awesome.
going forward. I mean, they got a master plan for everything, and I think they're executing it very well. I mean, back to the nostalgia aspect. That I mean, you and I are '80s kids also, and the fact they're just touching on all that. I mean, it's I see something, I just want it right away. Want.
Yeah.
And now you've helped me back off a little bit and just collect what I need to. But I mean, the stuff they're throwing out is
Well,
just so much fun.
it's not that I've gotten you to back off. I just don't think your wife's cousins in South America
You
need
never
head
know
covers.
when they
So
might need a head cover.
I, no. I think you need to say it the other way. You do know when they would need a
Oh,
head cover, and
oh,
that's when they play golf.
yeah,
They do not need to own 25 of them, but
yeah.
it's okay. You're
All right,
you're a
you're right.
diehard. I like it.
You're
No,
right.
I led into it because not only was the President's Day release, but then the new putter release that is going to be on Don't Give a Putt. And if anybody out there has known from listening to us, I have used the same putter for 14 years. It is a Method 001. I have switched a few times and tried different things, and I end up with this broken down, busted Nike putter. And I have been waiting and waiting and waiting to see this. And I will tell everybody out there that I will be hunting as much as I can because it's truly the only head shape that I have ever competed with
Yeah,
and have liked for a long period of time. So I'm really excited about that.
yeah. I can't tell
Uh,
that you're excited about it, but it's
oh yeah, I'm keeping my hands down. I'm trying to cross them for the hand gestures, um, but no, it's really good stuff. It's great being able to do stuff with them. They're fantastic.
yeah.
I love every minute of it. I'm looking forward to seeing a few of them out at Weekapaw for our trip.
Okay.
It's going to be a great time. That's followed up by the Swag Series event at Weekapaw, which will actually be our second event of
Mhm.
2023. So we're looking forward to the starting the season on the West Coast, Torrey Pines and Weekapaw. So it's going to be great. I know we're doing some stuff, last minute stuff. I think it's 7 more days before people can register. It might be 4 more days when
Yeah,
you
it'll be
actually
4 days
hear
when
this.
this one comes down. It'll be 4 more days. You can sign up for the week pot trips and then double it up. Get yourself in a series as well.
Yeah, so there's going to be plenty of representation out there. Andy, myself are going to be out there. Rob's going to be out there. We're going to be having a fantastic time all weekend long. It's really
During the Final
nice.
Four
Stay
weekend.
there. Yeah, stay there. Final four. Don't have to go anywhere. Enjoy the surroundings. If you do want to leave, there's nothing to do in Scottsdale. So I'm just letting everybody know there's absolutely nothing to do. But if you do want something to do, I will give you Kenny McGinley's phone number
Yeah.
privately. So message me. I'll give it to you. He won't have to know. He'll get
Five
pissed
five
at me
five
later, but
five 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 five.
555 McGinley. Um, But yeah, so Andy, anything else that you want to cover?
No, I'm interested to hear what story we have in store for us here today.
All right, so this is Andy's week,
Yeah,
but I just kindly asked him before this. I was like, "Hey, are you going to do a story?" He kindly asked me to do a story.
you do it.
It's been a moment, and this is actually a story for Andy Cezanne.
Oh, okay.
So we just got done in Vegas, and for anybody out there, and for his missus that's watching, if you don't know this stuff already, I'm letting it out of the bag.
Uh-oh.
But Andy Cezanne and I and about 12 other people, we went to a club called Omnia. Okay, and listen, I'm 38 years old. Andy,
39.
37,
39. I'm older.
39.
Yeah.
You're older. Um, to see this guy go through all the different cocktails and have a good time and be moving around and doing all this stuff. It's awesome. Like, I get to spend so much time with him in an office. I get to see him. I know when he's riled up. And the best part was I just got to leave him alone.
Yeah.
Like, you would think that me and him know each other, but to see Andy come out of his shell,
Yeah.
he's having like a cranberry vodka 1 second, then
Yeah.
he's having like a Jack and Coke 1 second, he's got a
Red
red
Bull vodka
wine
one
1
too.
second,
Yeah.
he's got bourbon one night. Fantastic. So
Yeah.
my story really isn't like the greatest story in the world, but I'm going to tell you, if you want to get Andy Cezanne out of his shell, you come on either an AM Golf Trips
Yeah.
or you come to a Swag Series event and you find Andy Cezanne.
Buy me one drink and
you buy him one drink, 2 for a great time.
Yeah.
Followed up with some chicken parm, which I don't even know if you had chicken parm on the trip.
I am so upset. I did not get any chicken parm on this trip. Our friends at Swag said that one of the best chicken parm they ever had in their life was in the Cosmopolitan. And every night I meant to make my way there, but we kept having pizza and strombolis every night at the
Yes,
hotel.
we did.
So I never
Yes, we
made
did.
myself.
And you know what? If this was your story time, you could talk about that. But
Yeah.
that's going to have to wait for another
That'll
time.
be a different
So
story.
for everybody out there, thank you so much for joining. We look forward to talking to you down the road.
Got it.
Andy, tell them where they can find us.
You can find us on Instagram at A to Z Golfing Podcast, also at AM Golf Trips. You can find us on Twitter. You can find us
You can find us everywhere. We need to simplify this.
Every social media
it.
spot right here. Take a look. Find us. Come do a Swag Series. Meet us in person. It's going to be a great time. The season's just starting right now. I mean, we're going to...
Yeah, and go sign up for Weekapaw because it's going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
Andy, good night. Everybody, good night.
Good night.